Hey, welcome back everyone, Toy here, and back yet again with a little bit of a new / re-retro shiz video for you. We're going to be checking out the relatively new, I've had it for a little bit, so it's a little bit behind the times, but been looking forward to making this video. This is the Marvel Legends Venom Amazon exclusive box set featuring Venom, Riot, and Agony. For those of you who collect the Life Foundation symbiotes over the last couple years, well, this will finalize your collection, so to speak, kind of, sort of. Make sure to read each of these bios that I'm posting right now. It'll kind of factor in some of the points I'll be bringing up during this video. If you're not familiar with the Life Foundation symbiotes, Spider-Man, Venom, it's a 90s thing. Venom gets captured by the Life Foundation and they suck out 5 different offsprings, which make these symbiotes. Spider-Man, Venom defeat them. They keep coming back over and over again. Scream kind of goes and does her own thing. She kind of got to be like the popular one out of the group of 5, while the other 4 kind of grouped together and became hybrid for a little bit. Again, this was one of the very many aspects of these symbiotes until they kind of made a resurgence with Absolute Carnage and the oncoming Null and yada yada. I'm just going to save you some time. Go and play the Super Nintendo game or the Genesis game, Separation Anxiety. It's a classic beat 'em up. I love this game, and no, that's not Carnage on the box. So, this is going to be an absolute blast. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is a kinda sorta re-retro shiz look at the brand new Amazon exclusive, the Marvel Legends Life Foundation box set featuring Venom, Riot, and Agony. And while I got all you symbiotic offspring here, I just want to say thanks so much for always checking out my YouTube videos. And if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. Old toys, new toys, daily news updates. Guarantee you'll find something here that you like. So, we're just going to jump right into it. Here's everything out of the packaging on the symbiote side, right? And if you haven't been collecting for, what, the last 5 years or so, you're going to have a hard time kind of going back because these ones kind of go for a little bit of a pretty penny. The first one was Marvel's Lasher. He was in the Build a Lizard wave. These figures are all repaints, right? It's kind of like, yeah, we kind of did the bare minimum to make these characters a reality. And it's kind of a bummer because symbiotes and Venom and everything else is so cool. Like, they gave Lasher these little tendrils that hook on the back, right? They all work. They all go in there. There's 4 of them. But then imposing him out, moving him around, they're more so a pain than anything that really looks great. You know what I mean? And honestly, his body type, his look, goes back and forth. This one, these 5 symbiotes are more so the new, more modern-ish looks mixed with kind of sort of the classic 90s. He's got really gummy joints. He will articulate. They do look good as a group. Don't get me wrong. But it's more so the fact of there's really nothing new other than paint and little things that they stuck on, as you'll soon see. Lasher, again, kind of kicked it off. But at the end of the day, he's just okay for being the Lasher symbiote. And really, it goes kind of sort of the same thing with Phage. Phage, not Xenophage. Phage. If you've seen my other Toy Biz videos, I explain the whole thing. But Phage was part of the Venom Pool Build-A-Figure wave some time ago, right? It's a great wave, to be honest with you. But I liked how they kind of stuck these symbiotes in every which way, right? You kind of collect Marvel Legends, you get them every once in a while, and then I feel like they really detoured off and took a long break until this new box set, which we will be checking out. Now, I never found another Phage. I would have loved another one of these clip-on pieces. This one's not a bad example, although the gold on the piece definitely does not match the yellowish color that is going on. In fact, it's more so the top of his head, which doesn't match the rest of his body. You see how it goes? And then the paint just kind of stops to where it comes down to the legs, and you've got these blades right here. Again, everything is reused. Everything's just, we'll just cobble together something and we'll put it out. And for me, in really liking these characters and having a real nostalgia for them, over and over I'll say in this video, they're great when they're all together, but separate, they're just kind of meh, you know what I mean? Now, in coming to Scream, she really does stand out. She's one of the more popular symbiotic characters, right? She was a part of the monster Venom Build-A-Wave, which, again, had some great character selection in that. She's got some great hair. I like the head portrait. She's another reused figure. She's got the big old Carnage hands. Her hair is cool. I do like that they included the red. They had to, but then it really doesn't go much else. And you see how her body is red and yellow and has a lot more life to it, right? A lot more paint, we'll just say, needed to be applied. This one is very humdrum. It's the bare minimum. I think that she ends up coming across as looking the best of the group out of the 5, but the hands, I get what they're trying to do. It's the wrong reuse. Entirely too big. She's got the big Carnage hands. It makes her look goofy instead of her own character. And like I said, the paint does go down to the legs. It looks good, but then on the backside, nothing. Just absolutely nothing. So the symbiote only exists on the front, right? It's weird. It's a weird choice. But again, as I'll say, she stands out as the best of the 5, but it's not really saying all that much. And then it comes to the box set. Finally, we get to the 2 new figures, so to speak. Agony comes with a pair of fisted hands. Why? She could have come with symbiotic goop. She could have come with acid spit. Something better than just hands, because she's a symbiote. She wants clawed hands, right? The hair, the way it attaches, it looks really goofy. It looks like she put on a wig. You know what I mean? It's got that big seam line. Now, the actual hair itself, it's a wild, wicked design. I like that. It's got a big fork at the end of it. I totally dig what they did here with the hair. The pink and the purple go together well. She does have a nice head portrait. It's a reused body. It's the updated female body, so it's pinless, while the other ones aren't, right? So in kind of seeing the continuation throughout, it's not really there. She's got double jointed elbows. She articulates nicely for a Marvel Legends figure. However, it really is the accessories that bring these characters to life, and across the board, with the exception of Lasher and kind of sort of Phage, there's really nothing. There's nothing to establish that these characters are symbiotic, crazy people. However, in saying that, with the Riot character, you get a big old bladed piece, kind of in the vein of Carnage. Now, this version of Riot is more of, again, the updated versions of the Life Foundation symbiotes. There's no paint on this, none of that brown that the Riot character has all over him, which I'll show you in just a second. So it's kind of a humdrum accessory. When you look at Riot, again, this is a new take. It kind of sort of melds in with the movie version from the Venom movie. The face color, the colors that are in between all the blue, I've always seen Riot as being more of the gray-brown symbiote. He's kind of like a mirror image of Venom in a lot of ways, but he was never this big. I don't really mind it. Again, I'm glad to have it, but the paint is sorely lackluster on this guy. It's just kind of like, yeah, here you go. I'm not too stoked on the face either. It's just okay, and that's really the bottom line for all these Life Foundation symbiotes. They tackled it. They're kind of, okay, I guess that's the best we're going to get. I doubt we'll be getting any Life Foundation symbiotes anytime soon. So this is it. And I'll show you Toy Biz ones coming up later in the video. It's the same exact articulation we have seen with the big old monster Venom over and over. And again, to go back to the accessory, they talk about hammers. They talk about bladed weapons in his biography on the back. This doesn't really even fit. When you try to move it, the goop will pop itself out of the joint. It would have been also really nice to have maybe 2, or see, it just kind of falls out. The whole problem with these symbiotes is that they're just characters that exist on a shelf. There's nothing to give them that oomph. There's nothing to give them some life. Nothing like that. It's just, yeah, here's the characters and go and pose them. But what do they really do? This is just not fun. It's just like, okay, I'll put this back and everything else. You had 2 blades, something like that. That would have been so much better. But we have to look at the 3rd figure of this new box set, which is Venom himself. As if I needed another Venom, right, in my collection. So many Venoms. This is probably my 81st Venom at this point. However, it's a pretty cool Venom. I'll give him this. Now, I really do like this head portrait. We've seen it done before in different fashion over the years. Various companies, Toy Biz, Hasbro, yada, yada. But this one is very cool. It's a redone, new age, it really stands out. And it has really nice paint on it. I really like the red eye of Eddie Brock. You have the Venom symbiote kind of gooping around, the tongue with the teeth and everything else. It's very well done. It's a standout, and this is the preferable head. He comes with 2 extra hands. These are more of the clawed Venom hands. He does have the white square, although I'm one of those people where I like the black dot on the Venom hand. He's kind of gotten away from Venom webbing, yada yada, and now he just kind of goops everybody. You know what I mean? Plus, to be honest with you, the white on the back isn't really painted all that well. Venom himself, he has this extra head portrait. It's okay. It's more of that newfangled design for Venom. It's not my favorite. I do like the tongue, though. I think that looks cool. It's crazy. Zooms all the way around his head. But just the stylistic artwork approach, more so around Ryan Stegman, I believe. And he kind of has pupils, if you look at it in certain angles, which I don't think they should ever do for Venom in the comics in a series. Like, it was charming for the animated series, but not in the comics form. And that's why I think this head portrait is ultimately more preferable. It's a repurposed body. We've seen this body type before for the animated Venom. They filled in the gaps on the shoulders, which really does apply for a comic book Venom, not so much the animated one. I wish they would have done something a little bit different. The spider symbol is very crammed on the back, as you can see, because of the added articulation. I get why they did it. I just don't think it looks the best. He does have peg holes. I like that he has normal booted feet instead of monster claw feet. That's my preferable look for Venom. No dots. I do like the fisted hands. But overall, I will say, this is a very nice looking Venom. This is one I will display with the Vault Guardsman, with the Symbiote Life Foundation, everything else of him being attacked. Maybe they're using sonic cannons, something on him, because that's the vibe I'm getting with this Venom. It's very well done for the most part. You get everything. So my feelings towards it vary, right? It's like, yeah, it's okay, but it's not my favorites. But dang, yeah, it does look good, and he's ready to battle these guys and these guys right here. I do have a number of Vault Guardsmen. I got them on a sale. I think they were like $4 and change one holiday season a year ago or something like that. Can't complain because they all look good when fighting Venom, especially when Venom gets the upper hand and can take them all down. That's 90s to me. That's the Lethal Protector comics that I know and love. The best part is you can swap out heads. The one that came with the Null 2-pack looks great, including displaying him, fighting the Vault Guardsmen, and they're interswappable between that Venom, the movie Venom, and yada yada. So I like that you can do that. In comparison with the height of Spider-Man, again, we've seen these two before in various degrees. We already kind of knew that these would fit. But this Venom with this head portrait definitely looks A-okay in my book. And they do look good in comparison to Scream, even though I feel like Scream detail isn't really there, including when you look at the entire team of the Life Foundation. They're there in spirit, the colors, everything else, but they don't reflect the oomph and the scariness that the comic had for back in the day. Now, to look at other symbiotes, especially when looking at the body type they used for Riot. We've seen it a number of different times, different ways, added on pieces, subtracted pieces. You get the idea. The Venom pool right here, while it doesn't utilize his body, it kind of shares that stature of it, which I think they did a good job. And I wish that they would have applied that somehow so that it would have differentiated between all of these, while Toxin really is the most different looking one out of all of them, while still retaining all those pieces. This isn't the first time we've had Riot figures. Back in the day, with the Planet of the Symbiote figure line by Toy Biz, we had the Purple Riot, which didn't really stick to what the symbiotes look like. I was very confused as a kid. They had several repaints. Riot got one of those repaints in a black and a red. They look good. They're old-fashioned, gimmicky, cool toys, but they're not really Riot. Lasher kind of ran into kind of sort of the same situation. Now, the lighter green one on this side definitely reflects the comic book art. In fact, with these characters, he's the one that got it closest to the original design. He then had a gray and black with a red face repaint as well, which doesn't match. But again, it's a nice way to get some extra figures and symbiotes on your shelf. Phage has never had a figure outside of an odd overseas, kind of, sort of homemade bootleg that existed on eBay, which I picked up some time ago. Doesn't match at all, doesn't look anything like him, but you kind of get the idea there. Scream did have a Toy Biz figure, which looks good, reflected the Scream character for back in the day, with all those wild whipping tendrils and the red hair and the shooting arm and all that kind of stuff. It's very cool, but I think this is one case where, yeah, it does look better in the Hasbro sense. Agony, unfortunately, out of the group of 5, never had her own figure. So this is nice that we're finally getting an Agony figure, and if you wanted to goop all these together, well, then it would totally create Hybrid. So I would not mind seeing a deluxe Marvel Legends version of Hybrid, that's for sure. You also have the blue repainted version, which color-wise makes no sense. You have the later release Spider-Man 2000 Alien Carnage. There's a lot going on in my Symbiote collection, let me just say. But Hybrid would definitely be a must. Then we're getting to the modern comics with Null and all the wild symbiotes in his group and everything else. They kind of went hog wild with all of that. I don't really want to see symbiotic versions of all the characters. I'll stick with what I really know, what I love. It really works. I really do like the Life Foundation symbiotes. And again, while it doesn't really reflect them all too well, you can always have Carnage out in front leading the symbiotic bunch. So that will wrap it up for my look at the brand new-ish Amazon exclusive Venom, Riot, and Agony box set from Hasbro's Marvel Legends collection. They're just okay figures. Venom is probably the best one. We've been sorely needing Agony and Riot. Are they ideal? No, they're really not. Do they complete the Life Foundation for the Marvel Legends selection? They do. They're just okay. Ultimately, all grouped together, they do make for a large selection of baddies to fight Venom. Makes for a nice display. Wouldn't mind seeing some members of the jury, right? They could do that team next. I would totally love that. But ultimately, it's just a fine collection for what it is. I don't want to see them redone. I don't want to see them pinless. Just leave them be. Here's the Life Foundation. It's what we got. So, you've heard my thoughts. Now I'm curious to know yours. Comment below. Let me know. Let's talk everything Venom. I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, go back and read those old 90s comics. They're awesome. They're a lot of fun. A lot of miniseries to look at. When they do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.